Hello from Mongolia. I thought it would be a little bit easier to explain and communicate through video instead of trying to write a really long email. But I wanted to explain a little bit more about how I came to the decision to accept the role of director with the organization for Mongolia. I have to go back a little bit to about 4 years ago when I first came to Gobi Altai, or decided to come to Gobi Altai. Actually, the Father had given me some verses from Isaiah 43. Some of those verses say, "Behold, I am doing something new. Can't you see it? It's springing forth." And later in Isaiah 43, it says, "I will make pathways in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." So that phrase, "rivers in the desert," really spoke to my heart about Gobi Altai specifically. So that was about 4 years ago. And now I've been in Gobi Altai for 3 years, almost 3 years. It will be 3 years in March. So whenever I kind of reevaluated or had opportunities to go other places, I always remembered those verses from Isaiah 43 and really felt like the Father gave me those verses so that I would be in Gobi Altai. So when I was asked about this director's role, I was a little bit surprised, and it wasn't an immediate yes necessarily. And I was again reminded of those verses in Isaiah 43. But I thought it was important. It was quite an honor for them to ask me and think that I am capable of that responsibility. So I definitely told them I would think carefully about it and pray about it. And the next day, after I was asked if I would take this role, I was with the team in Altai, and I shared with them about this opportunity and just asked them to pray for me. And during that meeting time, I was again reminded of Isaiah 43. "I will make pathways in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." And whereas before, rivers in the desert was always kind of highlighted for me because Gobi Altai is a desert. This time, that morning, when those verses came to me, really what was highlighted was pathways in the wilderness. And that really spoke to me about, it just kind of gave me this impression of all of these roads and paths that are going all across Mongolia. And teachers and people are walking on these roads, and these roads are going across Mongolia to the wilderness and to the desert places, to the places where there are few resources, to the places where there are few fellowships, there are few followers, there's less light. And so that really I think spoke to my heart, that that's his vision, is to see all of these roads that are going to many places in Mongolia, and people are going on these roads and going to where there's a need. In my heart, I wanted to see that. I want to see that happen, and I want to support people who are going to those places. So that was an important verse for me, I think. And as I continued to consider whether I should take that role or not, over several weeks, I talked to some different people and prayed about it. I just felt a real peace that that was what he was directing me to do. And I think those verses that he was bringing to my mind again, it was just kind of a shift in vision. So not a complete change, but definitely a shift from rivers in the desert to seeing pathways go across Mongolia. So that was a big part of why I said yes. So I felt that was very important. I wanted to share that with you, and I hope that during the summer, when I'm in Texas, I hope that I can maybe share with you more personally, or maybe in person or through Zoom, a little bit more about what's happening. So thank you so much for all your support and your care for me. I will continue in Mongolia, and it means changes in my life, but I'm continuing to work and serve here in Mongolia, and I hope that you will continue to partner with me so that we can see those pathways go across Mongolia to the places where there's a real need.